We're going to get you to come around the side here so you can get a kind of an overhead view. To start off, the way I always do it, poke down underneath his, right in between his two little fins there. Pull it up just a bit. And get your thumb in there. You got to be careful you don't slice his guts open inside there. Do little tiny licks like that until you get down to his little fins. You cut up and around using that little tiny part of the blade there. Come around his fin and then cut back down and cut just down the side of the back pectoral fin, or dorsal, I don't know what the fuck, the bottom fin, fuck, whatever it is. And you cut around this side like that. Stay. Now just behind his asshole, because it will start shitting if you don't do it right. Emma, okay, we'll go in from this side. Poke your hole right through. There you go. You already see poop starting to come out. You don't want that on the meat. Down behind his fin like that. And then you meet these two cuts together without cutting his asshole right there, or his poop chute. And there's a couple of little tiny spots in here, a little bone that you got to break through, and there you go. And that separates his guts and all the poop from him without getting shit all over the meat. You don't have to poke his airbag out, but it gets in my way. And this was a male, not a female. I was wrong. And you see, because this is basically his testicles. And that's all. That's what he creates his sperm with, is this stuff right here. Yummy stuff. Oh, his stomach's just empty too. Yeah, he was hungry, hungry hippo. All the ladies' makeup and stuff, that's what they use this thing here for, the liver. Oh yeah, they use makeup and all sorts of garbage. Now you go up inside. You see down inside here a little bit. I'm trying to loosen up all this. You see his cords and everything? There's a little bag right here. Don't puncture that bag at all. You can get some green slime on your meat and it's gross. You can wash it off, it's not the end of the world, but try not to. Oh, so you can get a hold on it without cutting the fucking bag I'm talking about. It's just a little jelly bag too, so it keeps wanting to get in the way. There, give it a little poke around the neck. Yeah, a little bit of cordage in there that needs to be coming out. A little fucking throat tube. Oh, there is a little minnow in his throat. There's his guts out. Here's his last meal. There's his last meal. But there's all of his guts. This stuff right here, if you cut it off and keep that from that piece to that piece, make good fucking worms. Or acts as a good worm. And you take that, and that makes a nice little chunk of belly meat for an imitation fish. But we're chucking all that in the garbage. So. Don't need no sperm, don't need no leftover meals. Alright, now here's where the magic happens. Right behind his gill plate, there's a little hard plate right here. You start from below his fins, right behind his front fin there. Just give it a little bit of a lick up. Like that. You cut down a bit of an angle towards his gills. And then you do the same to this side. Fucker, oh, just flinging blood. There we go. Put it in like that. That's where that knife is done. Alright, you take this beautiful little toy here. All the way down. Stop there. Make sure you leave the skin attached. And the fillet. Everything needs to stay attached to the spine for now. Makes your job a lot easier in a minute. Trying to keep your knife at the right angle without leaving too much meat on the spine. And without cutting through the spine. It's a delicate surgery and eventually you'll get it, but at first I butchered 12 fish trying to do it. Try to keep everything out of the way while you're cutting up this tail line to there. Now both those get pulled out of the way. he gets flopped over. Now we got these two things still attached to the tail. Get that out of the way. Put them like this. Gives you something to hold on to instead of trying to hold this slippery fucking fillet on the table. Now, like I said, spotless skin. Not even enough meat to trim for the dog. Same to this side.
Still breathing.
Yeah, trying to. Not very effectively, but he's trying. And there's your two gorgeous chunks of meat.
Oh.
And now we're done with him. But we're not done with the process yet. Okay. I like to take this one. There's... you can't really see it with all the blood, but right here, there's a little white line. That's his center line. That's also got his rib bones attached coming down in here. This will be his stomach, right down in here, and this is his belly, and down here is his butthole. Start up here. There's a couple of thick bones around the neck. You're going to start just a nice little cut in, and you turn your knife at a 90-degree angle again. This is one bone right here that's a pain in the ass to usually get through. There we go. Like that. I usually go away from me because it's easier. As you cut along, you can feel any little rib bones. You'll rub onto it. Just cut back a little tiny bit. And make sure you go underneath them, like that. Give your fingers a slide underneath. Helps loosen the meat. I used to save, and I used to love the belly meat. All this fucking cut down in here because it was so soft and tender. But then I found out one day that. Basically, think about it, when a fish is swimming around, their bellies are always down. So all the toxins that collect in the meat collect in their stomachs, in their belly meat. So now, instead of trying to save all that nice big tender belly meat, I usually just trim that off like that. Okay, now there's your fillet. Now the Y bones, you can hear that little sound. Here's your center line, and right above it, almost the width of the skinny part of the blade, there's all these little dots. That's your rib bones. You can almost see them. You can hear them when I go like this. Okay. You start your cut on top of these you find the bones and you go 1/2 millimeter or a centimeter up. You just make a few nice light cuts. Follow your bone line down so you don't leave them behind. You go like that. Just run your fingers across it when you're doing it. And eventually you'll hear this. I don't know if you can hear that on the camera, but you can actually feel and hear the bones like a zipper. And you find that, well, I think I cut a little too far on this side, so I'll cut like that. When you're down to the bones all the way across, you can't cut any deeper. Turn your knife at a 90-degree angle again. Give it a couple of little licks like this. And just keep pushing the meat. Like that. This takes a few minutes if you want to get it just perfect. Make sure there's no bones left over because I promised her no bones. Nice slow cut like that so I can show everybody what I'm doing. And then when you get about 3/4 of the way out, you can fold the meat up like this. You can actually see, if you get a little closer, you might be able to see it. All these little tiny bones like that. They stop right here. So you get on that, when you get up to the top of them, turn your knife back straight up and down. And you just cut along the edge. Like that. And that gives you a nice strip of back meat, completely deboned. This used to be their back fin. Take that off. Just because it looks better without it. I don't know if it's edible or not. And there you go. A little bit of bruising in the meat there from kicking around and thrashing like he was. Cut that out easy enough though. There, no more bruised meat. There's your one little fillet over the back piece. Now here's all the Y bones that everybody hates. You can feel I just missed them here, so they're right at the edge of that line. Now you cut on this side of the white center line. You make a couple of cuts right down. Actually, you can follow the line itself. Do about a 45-degree angle. Do a couple of nice little cuts. You can feel the bones start to come up. Like that. And there's all your Y bones. Done. Absolutely deboned. Every once in a while there's a little tiny bone in the tail here. Fuck it. Instead of trying to find it, it's gone. Now there's your 100% deboned jackfish fillet.
Cut it in half.
Okay.
No. Yeah, cut it in half, throw it in the water there.
Alright, now I'll see if I can do this one just a little bit quicker. I always do the right hand side of the fish a little faster.
Really start frying.
Alright. You know, it's got to be washed off really good first, too.
Yeah, I'm going to wash it. That's what the water's there for.
Alright. Turned wrong. Alright, we'll get this one done a little quicker here. See, this side, I always find that when I'm cutting it off the bones, I always leave more meat on the back for some reason, and it makes it a lot easier to find your white bones. You can see all these little white dots in here. Those are your Y bones. That's the tops of the Y bones. You can see all those little white dots. You can get close enough to them. You can see them right down the edge of my knife. Whole bunch of little white dots. And those are the edge of the Y bones. Cut along them. Nice, like just a millimeter on the side of them. On the top of them. And this is the back meat of the fish. Just do a double video just in case somebody didn't get it on the other side. Like that. Like I said, just keep making little tiny scalpel incisions until you hear that zipper sound. Get the camera close, you can actually hear it. When you hear that, then you know you're down as far as you can go. Don't cut any deeper, you'll cut through them. Turn your knife again flat. A couple little licks. Run your fingers down it to separate the meat a bit. Find out where you're cutting, make sure you're not missing anything. A couple more. I got a little bit too much meat left on the ribs here, but we'll take care of that right away. Another back strip. Where did I put the other one? There's the back strip. No, that's belly.
It's right there.
That's belly. Oh, there's back. Okay, there's two back strips. That's Y bones and belly. That's a piece of tail. There's back strip, and now here's the Y bones again. There's your little center line. You can always see if you grab the fish right by here and you split them, you can split the fish directly in half that way. Most people do that and then they throw out the whole top part of the fish and just keep that for the fillet. It's deboned. And look how much meat you're wasting. If you're going to go fishing, you may as well respect the food that you're hunting and eat as much of it as you can. Make your little 45-degree angle just to go underneath the edge of the bones. You can feel them between your fingers as you run your fingers under them. If you're feeling ribs under here, then you know you haven't cut quite enough. But these are just actually no muscle in anything. I can get past that, no problem. You can hear the bones in there though. Yeah, those come out like that. And then just to do it the good way to keep as much meat as we can, trim off that little piece there, and then split the tail like that. And there's a little piece that connects the tail to the muscular skeletal system. Little tiny hack up in there, and that trims out just like that. And that saves as much meat as you possibly can from a single jackfish fillet. And then you trim off any kind of fat or shit you might see. Nobody wants fish fat. And there's a bit of a bruise in there. That's from thrashing around on the fucking chain, I guess. I'll trim that off easy enough. There you go. There's your back strips and your main fillets, all deboned. And if it's not, I'll give you $20. There. Thank you for watching.
You throw everything in that bucket.